question to any of you, and I know you've touched on this a little bit, but dairy farms are certainly under attack of late. Increased scrutiny from consumers on how cows and calves are treated. Can you give us some ideas of ways that you've seen your efforts towards farm culture help ensure animal welfare?
Sure, my 2 cents, I guess. I can agree with whatever I say we're under attack, but part of it I think is our own doing and not educating the public that we're dealing with 1,500-pound animals. There's a way to do it. I think we've improved a lot of the ways that we do work with these animals. But there's constant training. We need to get better every day. It's no matter if it's how we treat our animals, how we treat our employees. We need to have that mentality that there's room to do more and room to get better. With that said, I know we've personally made improvements in our farm from seeing some of these videos. We changed our parlor 10 years ago because of some of the down cow incidents we've seen in videos. And we're able to use some of those for training and to say, this isn't how we're going to do it at our farm. Ask our staff, verify is our training good? Can they point out the bad in these videos? Usually it's pretty obvious, but I think there's places you might go where it's not obvious and you haven't trained with people. So I think it's reassuring. We had a video that we watched with our calf staff recently, and we had a member of our team just break down in tears. She couldn't believe what happened. So that was reassuring to us that we've portrayed the message of care that we want on our farm, and I think it's reassuring that we're not going to have necessarily that case happen.
I would say learning from the negatives, so there's negative things, you need to show your staff. This is what's getting portrayed, and that's why we're doing more positive things on social media, or going to talk to the people in the city and taking our picture of the calf in the soft, fluffy bed, talk about why it's white and why it's sanitized and why all those things. Sometimes a visual, I can't do foodie, but I can take that photo to a class or have classes, especially to a lot of kids or teachers, and do some educating. But even just showing our staff some of the things that are out there so they become sensitized to why it's important. And I don't really like showing those videos but they have a purpose, and sometimes you have to learn from the negative, whatever they are. I mean, a farmer artist.
I would say it's a great question. And the thing that we did, it was a great opportunity this past summer, was when the whole Fair Oaks thing came out. And we jumped on that right away. 2 areas. Number one, within 48 hours, we put out a statement ourselves. And that statement was amazing. It was just not only stating how we do things at Hilltop, but it was also about what the industry does. And you can, when you put something out there, you can obviously see how many people see it, how many people like it, and how many people shared it. And it went crazy. It went nuts. And what we really appreciated, there was a lot of negative associated with it, but when we put that out there were so many shares, but there was also so many people who said, yes, we believe you, we know what's going on, so that was really good. And then second of all was within a month, because we always have monthly meetings, we did take that Fair Oaks video and we shared it with our employees, okay? And we wanted them to know, hey guys, this is the kind of stuff that's going on out there. And you know what? That could be us. That could be us. What are we going to do about it? And that alone right there is showing that video fostered a lot of great discussion. It was really good.
I'm going to take a little different stab at it. And mine's going to be from the prevention yet, because everybody addressed the training and the effect, the emotional effect on everything. My job on the genetic program is to put cows and develop cows that people won't think about abusing. Has anybody seen a video where an employee was abusing a cow that was moving normally or up on her feet going into the parlor the way she was supposed to? No. It's cows that are slow, cows that are down, cows that need assistance where people aren't trained, and they address that. But let me tell you what you can do. Now through genetics, you can breed cows that live longer, are healthier, are more mobile, are more fertile, and have less likely to die. Those are the kind of cows we have to put in our herds. And I know that on Monday this morning, Jordan told me that a cow was holding everything up in pen 5 because she wasn't as mobile as she needed to be. She's 9 years old. Well, I looked at her, she's pregnant. In the past, I would have kept that cow. But she's slowing things down. We need 1,040 cows to go through that parlor. We don't want people to even think about encouraging her in the wrong way to move faster. So on the truck she went. Okay? So we have a responsibility too. Put cows in front of them that aren't going to get abused. Secondly, get rid of them. Get rid of the cows that are holding things up, that they have the temptation. I mean, everybody, we're not putting pressure on them to stay on time, but right up here, everybody's got, if they fall behind the shift, that if the night guys fall behind, the day guys are going to go, what happened? You guys sleeping or what? And so, again, get the right cows in front of them and keep the other stuff out, away from where that people are not trained correctly. So it's a little different perspective, but I think about that all the time when I'm using bulls, or Jordan and I are making culling decisions, because this morning he probably couldn't believe how fast I caved in. Because normally I don't. So that's my approach.
Thank you. Next question. Anybody?
Maybe just a follow-up on that. When you're talking about, training employees and showing them videos or changing SOPs or whatever it's needed to address animal welfare concerns and all that, what kind of reaction do you get from employees? Because I can see that going both ways. I know that a number of employees in the industry are motivated by taking good care of animals. Like they like that, seeing those baby calves, taking care of it and everything. But at the same time, I can also see some people that have been around and they've done things a certain way for long enough, and now you're saying you should do things differently because of animal welfare concerns and things like that, and whether they buy it or not, I don't know. So what kind of reaction do you get from employees and staff when you bring in more animal welfare training or methods?
From my perspective, we always try to phrase the conversation that our goal is to make the job easier at all times. So, like Lloyd said, is it easy bringing a lame cow or a mobilely impaired cow, we call that, right, to the parlor? No, it's stressful because you want to get those cows to the parlor because cows are waiting in the return aisles. I would say one of the better changes we've made and worked really hard towards, which everyone got on board really quick, was I think the mentality, whether we stated it or not, was every cow needs to be milked 3 times a day, and you do whatever you can to get those cows to the parlor. I don't think we stated it that way, but that's I think how people understood it. And now, if there's a cow that looks like she might not make that walk just perfectly to the parlor, and there's any risk of her falling down in the parlor or the holding pen, they know that it is incredibly hard to get a cow up in the holding pen, in the parlor, or in the return bins. So we can use the backside and the handle side of a rig, tap her 3 times on the back. If she doesn't get up to that, let her stay in the stall. She's comfortable, she's on sand, and if we have to move that cow, we have a really nice system. One person can do it in 15 minutes, move the cow by himself onto our cow ambulance, move her to a bedding pack. She's comfortable, she's got ventilation, she's got air, water, food, all by themselves. If she goes down in the parlor, that's 3 people scratching their head going, oh crap. We don't have a good system. It's ended up that we have to put a cow down and drag her out because we're not dragging her out alive. So if we can coach that conversation that this is easier, it will be better for everyone. And it's probably going to be a better outcome for that cow than they get hop on board. But if we can phrase it, your life will be easier, that usually is pretty simple stuff.
Do you have a document, have your new employees packet? Do you have a signed documentation about we've gone through the process of animal care? I understand what Rosy-Lane standard of care is.
Yes.
Is that part of your regular?
Yes, it is. When you see it, stop in, and we have How to handle a cow and estrus, that's a page, so if anybody goes into groups of, older heifers or cows, that's signed and trained, Jordan does that training. I would say one thing I kind of developed that we're just starting to use more of is, people see that and they say, oh yeah, that's wrong. But I don't think they necessarily, and I guess I'm speaking for my calf barn staff typically that I would be more familiar with, is they're not sure about what they see here, they can make to them changing their actions maybe. So I have a little worksheet and we watch the Merck videos that are like a minute or two long. And then they watch them and they say, what did you see that was good? What did you see that should be improved? And then how can you change your actions? So you watch a 2-minute video, and it was maybe about giving the calf colostrum the first, 2 hours or 5 hours. The guy had on a dirty pair of pants, so we would say, oh, that doesn't work, and they hopefully would catch that. So it's reinforcing that positive behavior and making them realize that they themselves have to change just a little bit or remind their fellow staff people to change or do it a certain way. So that's just one little tool we'll hopefully be using more of going forward, but taking that, what they see, and they all agree that's wrong, but what do I have to do different? Changing that mentality. Yes, we have signatures on file, but again, they did it once, that first week or two, and do they really remember it?
It's something you guys do a lot of visual, not just like textbook reading. Could you elaborate on how you try to use visuals or other cues to get people to understand what their expectations are versus handing them a 15-page book and saying, read it and let me know if you have any questions?
Yeah, visuals are huge. I'd say 3-4 years ago, we took upon ourselves to put a 16 camera system in our dairy. And anytime we see something or know something went wrong, we can right away refer to the cameras. And then we take those cameras, we take that video footage, and then we take it to the employees. And that's another thing I think is huge, is, okay, I can take that video and go 2 ways with it. I can take it and be really negative about it, or I can be really positive about it. And everything we try to do is it's got to be positive. Okay, and then you got to explain the why. This is why, this is what we saw, okay? This is what we want to see instead.
From my point of view, I know we had meetings when I first started having meetings with our staff, and you'd hand out a written piece of paper how I was formally educated as you read it and you just understand it. Found out real quick that some of our population can't read. And it doesn't mean that they're not intelligent. It doesn't mean that they can't complete the task. It's we need to change how we're teaching. So we kind of do a little bit of everything. So there's always a written agenda or the topics we're going to cover in training if they want to write notes on it, they can. Verbally we go through everything though. It's not that they have to read it. And then most of the time there's follow-up out in the barn or there's a video in training. So it's not only do they look at some words that said it, they heard it, and then they're either going to go physically do those actions.
I want to add something there. They're very, what I see on those farms also, you talked about training, they're also very hands-on because they're aware that people learn in different ways. So they mention videos and paper, but they go beyond that. They actually go out there to the barns and teach the guys how to do things, actually, and explain the why, and why the procedures and protocols that they have, the best for the animal, for the cow or for the calf. So they address that the literacy and education levels, they are out there working side by side with them during the training, and not only one time when they're hired, as many times as it's needed, or when there's an issue. I think that's important to mention also.
If I could add, since what Elsie said, I got frustrated probably about 10 years ago with all the videos that are out there, and they were good stuff. First of all, they all started in English, and I'm like, this ain't gonna work for my group, okay? Then they started getting into Spanish, and they were okay, but I wasn't real good at explaining it because they were in Spanish. And I'm like, I want to come up with something that's pertinent to Hilltop. Okay, so that's why we put in the camera system. It was one of the things that we could take footage from our barn, and not to take anything away from anybody else's situation or farm or business or anything like. But this is what we do at Hilltop. Okay, I mean I've watched how many skid loader trailer videos put out by all these different companies, and they've gone to man, how many are actually out there on a freestyle bar? You know, not enough. And then maybe how they handle or use a skid loader at Rosy-Lane, because they do it this way. No. And that's good, but I want us to show them how they do it at Hilltop. This is how we're going to do it. And then we want everybody to do it that way. And that's just an example. I mean, we can go into our milking procedures. We can go into our calf management, any of that.
Daphne mentioned earlier that you're looking for another crop person. You keep your operations so separate that people say, I'm a crop person, or I'm an animal person. Do you have any cross training, or do you get any division between the crop people and the animal people?
I'll take a stab at that. It's easier to hire crop people typically because people think that it's an easy job driving a tractor or a truck, not realizing that we're looking for operators, not drivers. And Tim always says, I'm looking for an operator, not a driver. Okay, so that's a separation. And then a few of the guys, well, Jordan and Doug, one of our guys who's been here 25 years, Doug and I and Jordan can go across lines pretty good, but pretty much nobody else in the operation can. And that's okay because we try to cross-train within the departments, but very rarely will Tim, he's got a whole bunch of, we're really lucky in Watertown, we have a huge Pepsi plant. There's a Pepsi truck that drives down that highway every 45 seconds. I'm not making this up, I'm serious. Okay, that Pepsi factory feeds the whole Midwest, and every truck is going north or south on 26. That means that we have a lot of truck drivers looking for part-time work. We're really lucky, and they have CDLs, and they're happy. They think it's a thrill to come out and drive a different truck alongside a chop. I can't figure it out. Where it works for Tim, and even some of that's drying up now with the new trucking regulations, so we have to be careful about how that's handled. But so we can be a little bit more specific, but you know, we don't like to go across lines too much. Yeah, there's a lot of people skid loader training. They all know it. Both divisions know how to drive skid loaders, but really there's a reason that they put big walls and headlocks and feed alleys between crop guys and cows. If you want to see animal abuse, just put crop guys in with cows. I mean, because they're not guys that like cows. They want to drive a tractor or a truck.
Yeah, no patience.
They're right. And so,
The big thing in our operation is a language barrier too. So Tim doesn't speak any Spanish, and mostly everyone in the barn is Spanish-speaking employees. So for them to come over and drive a tractor or whatever, it's hard for Tim to communicate with them. But in the barns, I speak Spanish. So that's a big limiting factor in our organization. But cows and calves, there's a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, done. Yeah, we're just a little bit different. I guess I'm comparing in my mind. When you guys decide to go down that cropping road, we don't have to worry about that because we hire it all out. So that's a little different. But I know I always appreciate when we do have the discussions, when I bring my feeders in with the cow people. It's like, wow, they didn't know that. And the other side didn't know that. And it's pretty good.
I think they have to have an appreciation for what's happening on the other side. They aren't maybe there, but maybe for a morning they ride along, or they check it out, they see what it's going. We have people before that thought they wanted to calve cows, and they learned that that wasn't what they wanted to do. So they're back in the parlor and they're milking cows. But to expose people to what's happening, even in the calf barn, we had a meeting. I took the calving staff and some milkers up to the calf barn and explained what was going on, walked through the calf barn, talked about why you do this, talked about why we do that, and if you do this, that makes our job easier. So we try to pollinate a little bit. And I'm a big on just being aware of what's happening in the other departments. Even making the trash burn easier. How do you do that? Well, you don't leave little strings laying all over from the bags. You stick it in the bag, so when you go to burn the trash, they're not all over the driveway and all that kind of stuff. So just making people aware of and appreciate maybe a little bit about what's happening in another barn, and they're a little more familiar with it and might be a little more in tune with what's happening.
Question. As each of you have kind of grown in your roles, you know, at Rosy-Lane or in the farm at the farm in general, Loren, and you really improved your employee relations, what can you look back and say was either the number one thing you did to improve those employee relations, or the one thing that you were doing that maybe was really not good? When you look back, like what was something you were doing at the time that you didn't realize you were doing and you wish you wouldn't have done?
Well, I get to start this.
I'll go for it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go
I'll go second.
Okay, I've realized this now in about the last couple of years. Okay, I started out, Hilltop's been around for 18 years now, and I got appointed the parlor manager right from the go. And within a couple of years, 18 years ago, we started having Hispanic employees, and then ever since we've just grown to where we are now, and now we got 17 Hispanic employees. And building on what Jordan said, the whole communication thing, I've always tried to do it, but the best I can do is what they call Spanglish. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. And I always said, I'm going to get better, I'm going to take a class, I'm going to do it, but I never got good enough at it. And it always bugged me. It always bugged me. So then in the last 4 years, two things have happened. Number one, I gave up the role of being the manager of the parlor, of the cows. I gave it up. I gave it to 2 Hispanic employees. Okay, and I knew that was supposed to happen about 7 years ago. I didn't want it to happen because I was worried about what my job was going to be. You know, maybe I was going to be unemployed, walking the streets. Okay, but I was a little bit afraid to do that, and there was another part of me that said, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to get it done. But finally, I just gave in. And I gave it up to 2 guys. Okay? And the second thing I did is I finally hired a Hispanic consultant to come in and just really, really do a good job. And I had run across a couple people that had helped me, but then I finally ran across Elsie, and she took it from this level to the highest level possible. So those 2 things have just done awesome. And I'm not going to lie, guys. Last year in 2018, we had a turnover of 3 employees. And this year to date, we lost 3. And I said to somebody else the other day, I said, one lady left back in January for maternity leave. Okay? Another guy left because he wanted to be closer to his family in New Jersey. And the other guy, 2 weeks ago, was fired. He had got to strike 3. Okay? And guess what? I had nothing to do with that. My managers took care of all that. So I've got 2 Hispanic managers now that I basically have groomed them to manage what I call my way, the Hilltop way. And then I brought in Elsie to help groom those guys, because those 2 Hispanic managers, I'm still talking Spanglish to them, okay? And that wasn't good enough, okay? And I brought in Elsie then, and she helped me grow those managers now. So.
To echo what Loren is saying, first thing, Jordan took over and he could speak Spanish, and in Spanish he speaks more Spanish in a week than English. And again, doing a task and having somebody there that can explain why we're doing it makes all the difference. And then when Jordan can't get the message across, and there are some things that maybe are more confidential and whatever, Elsie comes in and handles some of those situations where, you know, somebody doesn't feel comfortable talking to one of the 4 partners about what they saw or how they're feeling. And so and I think that made all the difference. So before that, when I was managing the people in there, we would bring in an interpreter, and basically he was a police interpreter. That was his job, and he was a police interpreter. Well, you know, and he basically would tell me what he thought I wanted to hear. But what the employee was saying, I had no idea. That's always a danger, and that's why The other disaster that I would never ever do again is to rely on another employee to be the interpreter, because they're not going to tell me the truth. I mean, that's my experience. I shouldn't say they aren't going to, but it's more unlikely that they're going to tell me everything that to resolve a bad situation. So having Jordan there every day, communicating in their language, you know, what's expected, what you know, for all the reasons.
I would say that I should have started sooner empowering employees to do things. And they've always been a part of maybe making decisions, but I would have liked them to be a bigger part earlier on, because they're going to have to carry it out. Whether it's we have too much scours in the calf farm, how can we fix that? You know, we can sit around as partners and come up with a plan and just say, here, do this. But really the goal is to get the people dealing with the problem to be part of it. And we're still going to be involved as owners and partners, but to let the people who have to really do the legwork help fix it and come up with, if we have 20 ideas, okay, that's all great, but maybe we can only do 3. Or maybe we should do 10 of them. What is it? You know, what's going to make the most sense? Or how should we play that? Oh, so empowering them to be part of the solution would be something I would say that I wish I would have started sooner. You know, they always relied on us, so we just kept coming up with answers, okay? No, throw it back at them and say, well, what do you think? And they're like, and some people don't like to be empowered. Okay, we had several employees in the past that just didn't like to be empowered. That is not their thing. And I don't like that, but they still have a niche, they still have a place in our operation, so we make that work. But my goal would be to have all the people here feel empowered, whether it's to say something when they saw something, or to go order a new belt, and that, you know, leave sticky notes all over, and it gets missed, and, you know, 3 weeks later, we still don't have it fixed. Empowering them so that they can go to Tractor Supply or call them Mid-State and just get what they need and fix it. They know that's not a problem. But empowering people to do the right thing, and we're always, Lloyd and I have always said, it's okay to make an aggressive mistake. At least you did something, but don't not do it. That's the worst thing to do, is not do it.
For me, I think keeping my emotions in check. There's a little bit of pride when I graduated school and came back that was hard to be humble about, and I think that affects how I was working with our team. But I mean, to really listen to the needs, desires, wants of our staff, you really got to just shut up and put your pride aside. And if it was me that made a mistake, I'm human just like everyone that works for us. But to sit back and just listen, I think was really hard for me. I always wanted to respond. I always wanted to solve the problem. But just to sit, most of the time it seems like our people can talk through the issues themselves. They just need a backboard. So now I do a lot of sitting and listening and okay, so that's what we're going to do. Great, you came up with the idea. I didn't really have to do much, but it takes a lot of time. So I think keeping my emotions at check and allowing that time for those conversations, because there's always good outcomes, and we never want to say we have enough time, but if you don't, the outcomes I think can be pretty ugly.
If I could build on this a little bit, Daphne talked a lot about empowering, and we've all talked about communication. I can remember when we started 18 years ago, and Cal looked at me, because I was a parlor manager, I was going to be dealing with all, and he looked at me, waved his finger, and then Cal's the other partner at Hilltop, or one of the other ones, and he said, Loren, you gotta pay him, you gotta pay him. If Double S down the road is paying $11.50, we're going to pay $12, or if Private is paying $13, we're going to pay $13.25, or whatever. And I always maintain that, okay, I want to be at the top. And we're going to be able to do that because our dairy is operating at a high level. We can afford to do that. And the other thing I thought, you know, I'm going to treat my employees well. My way of treating them was, you know, at Christmas time, I'm going to give them a bag of cheese and give them a nice little bonus. And in the summertime, I'm going to surprise them with a nice little sweatshirt and stuff like that. You know what? That's all good stuff. But what I found out now in the last 4 years is that's good stuff. I don't want to be good. I want to be great. Empower people. Give them an opportunity to do something. And now what I've seen with especially my 2 managers, Tali and Cornelio, they are empowering people themselves. Cool thing happened last month to me. Okay, we had our agenda and stuff like that, and all of a sudden Tali says, you know what? I want to reward one of the employees for doing a really good thing this month. I thought, holy cow, that's awesome. That's something I was doing. Now Tali's doing it, And there was complete silence in that room. And all of a sudden, Tolly was talking about what he was doing, and then he called out Orland and said, Orland, you did great, and this is what you were doing. And he gave him a $50 gift card to Quick Trip. You know? Wow, that spoke volumes right there to every one of those employees. And I had nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it. I empowered my employees to.
Other questions?
Yes, I have a question. So how about those little things? Do you have a budget? How do you know, kind of where to be on those little bonuses? It's just kind of, you gotta do what you gotta do and get a feel for it.
I don't think we have a set dollar total for budget on labor. We have a budget number that's based on per hundredweight. It's more based on past performance, and we put in a 2% or 5%, whatever percent kicker you want to put in there, because there's going to be inflation, so you have to keep up. So we want to get people into higher level jobs. So a guy who's moving cows, a guy who started out as a cow mover here now can do ultrasound. Another guy can do foot trimming, breeding fresh cows, IVs, do sick cow work. Get them to do higher level. So there's a big margin in that, right? Because if you hire a veterinarian, it's minimum $100 an hour. You can pay these people 18 and 20, and they're really the kings then. They're making good money. So I would say that we still, if our labor gets out of control and we're not getting performance, then it's an issue. But if you have higher labor costs, but you have great performance, your margin's still wider.
We don't have a budget for only the goodies. I just think it's a good idea, or Tia thinks it's a good idea, we just do it. And, it's given Propel early in the year, and when it's hot out, say, hey, it's really hot, you guys gotta keep yourselves hydrated, here's a bunch, if you need more, let us know. They get new sweatshirts at expo time, they get t-shirts, if they need one in the meantime, they come and ask us, and we give it.
We did this, I want to talk about one thing we discontinued. Last year, during the summer, it was free choice, both ice cream in the freezer, ice cream bars, and Gatorade, or what was it? Gatorade type drink. It was in the refrigerator all times in there. We spent $5,000, and when the employee engagement thing came back, or whatever, about what benefits they liked, that was the last ranked thing. Cost $5,000 plus our labor, Tia. Yeah. Then we had to rent a refrigerator because we didn't have a refrigerator right size. And it was like they didn't care. But we wouldn't have known, we would have done it again. Because we thought it was important, but they didn't care. So this year we put out Propel, I don't know how much.
We tweaked it, and we talked about it a lot before we decided.
And ice cream bars, they didn't care. How much ice cream they ate. Listen, how much ice cream did they eat? 4 boxes a week?
Two boxes.
Everyone lost 20 pounds.
No, so not understanding, not asking the question. It was there, so they took it, but they didn't care.
Daphne, when you hand out new sweatshirts, do you take away the ready one? This is a legitimate question, I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah, I know. That's an excellent question. No, but when I see a ready one, I will throw it away.
Yeah.
Or I will go to the office and pick a new one up of that same size and give it to Jordan and say, hey, here, give this to whoever this belongs to, because it's not safe. You can't wear winter trunk clothing, and partners cannot be wearing winter trunk clothing. We have to set an example, and for a while that wasn't happening either, so we got to that level where we just have to set the example. We have to put our seatbelts on every time we get in the gator or lawnmower, and that wasn't easy to do that either. It's not. It's changing habits of the partners, and we have to set the standard high and live with it too. So pretty much, yes, I do, because I don't like, and I don't want to go around some random rickety thing, and some guy took his scissors and cut out the cow on his logo, because then he knew it was his. Well, you just...
Should put names on it.
So now, yeah.
Well, my question is along the lines of business culture is always going to be important. You're always going to need employees on operations like yours. But if you were starting over and building a double 20 parlor from the ground up right now, how do you view robotics? Relieving part of your employee problem, maybe even relative to the economics of it, which gets difficult too. But would it be something you'd be looking at real hard just to alleviate some of the business culture issues or employee issues?
I don't think you still need people, right? As long as you have moving parts, stuff breaks, as long as you have cows, there's cows that need to be fixed, right? Milk trimming, vaccines, breeding, etc. I think you have less employees per volume of cows, but you're also then you need an elite employee. So where I look at, from my point of view, training a milker, it's a 2 to 3 week process in our system until they're, from ground zero to professional level, or 90% professional. To train someone that can breed, ultrasound, vaccinate, sort cows, months, to be good at that. So, are there fewer people? Sure. Are they extremely valuable and harder to replace just because of training time? Yes. So I think you're picking your poison. You have fewer employees, but when one of them's gone, boy, it's going to be a son of a gun to replace them. That's how I see it. I still think it's something that, we've talked about it in the future of Rosy-Lane, but I think it's an option for sure. If you're not looking at them, I think you're silly. Is it the future? I don't know. But I think it's in the conversation.
I got sticker shock when we looked at building a 500 cow robot farm. So
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten over it. So I think they definitely work. Don, how many cows you milk with robots? You have 5 robots, right?
Yeah, 280 cows.
280 cows, 5 robots. He didn't know how to milk a cow when he got here 3 days ago. So yesterday, he was first time milking cows, right? Yeah, first time ever. And in many parts of the world where we think our labor costs are high now, but it's more labor availability, right? Because your labor cost in Holland and in Europe is, with the benefits, is about 30% higher than it is in the U.S. So as labor costs go up and labor availability, that's going to drive these decisions, and especially on that smaller. All the research is still proven that an 80-stall rotary is the most efficient, cheapest way to milk a cow. You're not going to get around that. You have to decide if you like managing people, or if you hate people, then you have to diminish what you're not good at, right? So I think it's a different decision for every dairy. George's good at managing people. If he can find the people to manage, robots aren't quite as critical for us, maybe. The next guy who has 250 cows and hates people, I don't know how you're going to get it done. But, robots probably work better. Or the little, I think they've been real popular on these 100-cow dairies, where one family's doing it and they don't want any employees. They're perfectly happy to keep milking 100 cows. Perfect for them. So I think it's a different decision on every dairy, depending on who you have available and what your level of pain is for whatever.
My take on it would be, I'm going to look at it from my perspective in my dairy, is I love it when there's shift change. The guys come in and they're talking. They're getting along. They're talking to the guys coming in, talking to the guys going out. If we go to robots, guess what? That staff goes down 50%. Guess what? There's less talking. There's less people. I want to equate that talking to enjoyment. And I don't know if our farm's culture would be as enjoyable or as fun with less people. Okay, and also at the same time, I like it too now, when a guy goes on vacation or if a guy's sick or both at the same time, guess what? I got people to help out. I got people to step up. We go into that other system of robotics, you got less pool to draw from to do that kind of stuff. And it's going to have its own set of challenges.
I would go to robots only for the reason of it's better for the cows. They get milk when they want to get milk. It's an animal welfare issue. versus we're doing it because we're gonna save on labor. I think that should be secondary or tertiary to the basic decision. So that's how I look at it, is you're gonna do robots, it's because it's better for the cows and their habits and their movements, and you take away a lot of that interaction where there could be problems, okay, between people and cows, the robot does. And so from my standpoint, that's how I see robots playing a more important role rather than just being labor saving. But you will save some labor, who knows how much, but there could be some.
Yeah, going back, Lloyd, you kind of alluded to something when you talked about your ice cream bars, right? You sought feedback, and you realized from feedback from your employees that maybe that wasn't top on their list of things they wanted or enjoyed hearing. What methods do you guys all use to get feedback from your employees?
That was a written survey where nobody signed their name to, so I think that helps. Not everybody filled it out, even though you begged and pleaded and almost hit them over the head with it. Not everybody wants to respond, which is too bad, but that was how we got the feedback. I think that's the best way, because we listed every single possible benefit, and even some that we weren't really doing, but we were considering, right? We put them all out there. Well, basically, what did they like? The retirement program and vacation. Well, give them what they want. Well, maybe another vacation day. And if somebody asked me, what would you rather have, an ice cream bar or vacation day, I'd probably take the ice cream bar, but they probably wouldn't. But on average, that's, so we're gonna focus on the pay and stuff they can take home with them, right? Can't take an ice cream bar home with you. You're not supposed to take the Gatorade home with you, but they can take vacation days and more pay and more retirement benefit home. So
I think we try and listen on an ongoing basis, like I just put out the new newsletter, so I'm not out there as much as I was, but I'll ask them, did you read the newsletter? Is there anything interesting in there? I asked T to keep her ear to the ground. What do you hear? Do you hear anybody say anything? Like, oh yeah, so-and-so was their anniversary, or, so just kind of, sometimes you have to beg a little bit for that feedback, or if there's none, that's a problem too. So trying to, ease a little bit out of them here and there. Like the Christmas party, they all love the Christmas party for the most part, at least the people on the survey. So we're gonna do that. That's once a year. We used to have a picnic. I don't know if we'll do that every year. Maybe it'll go to an every other year thing and open up the farm to the neighbors and the town board, so they can see it. And oh, by the way, we also invite our staff so they can intermingle with all other people. Want to see each other and talk to each other. So we kind of just gauge that on how do we think it went. More informal than formal, but you definitely have to be asking and thinking. And like I said, when we did the survey, we told them back, we wanted your input, we got it, and here's what we did. So they know when you tell us, they wouldn't really, no, there's no more ice cream, how come? But I said if they really want it, they can ask it, and we might reinstate it, but nobody's really begged for it, so, yeah.
we did immediately restructure our vacation schedule. I mean, immediately, like a week later, we announced a new vacation schedule.
They earn a day for each year they've been here, pretty much,
So
plus their week's paid.
Yeah. So every year you're here, so the guys that are here 10 years, you get 10 more days.
What I try to do is just, we have to be present, right? So the more often you're here, the more often you're around, the door open, the more often you're working next to them. That's when ideas, because it's just like us, something might pop into our head, but if I don't see you till tomorrow, and I thought about something today, how much stuff do we have going on in our daily lives that it's easy to forget? So being present and along, I like what Loren said, at shift change, if there's a lot of chatter and stuff going on, kind of my rule to myself is if I sleep in my house, I'm going to be here at shift change in the morning, and I get here at between 2:30 and 3 in the morning, work with our night shift for a couple hours, and then I'm here during the day shift when they punch in. But there's a lot of questions, there's a lot of talks that either our day shift or they come early, I can communicate with them, otherwise our night shift, if they need to sit around for half hour, and talk with me. There's plenty of days. Lloyd knows he gets to the barn at 5. At the night guys are still there at 6, and we're talking about whatever. The other day we were talking about chiller that works from the compressors and stuff. We got an engineer on staff that just needs. Loves it. So, okay, well, here you go. Other days we were talking about brand new movies in society, but just stuff. And again, if we can build that bond that they can trust talking to me, I mean, that just makes our relationship work or outside of work better, so that I think they feel more comfortable coming to me on a regular basis.
Does that kind of play to Paul's statement earlier about a safe zone? You know, and that they feel that then it is a safe zone and that they can bring up, or Daphne's thing about empowerment, that they feel like it's open and willing to put up an idea and that they won't be told it's a stupid idea, that you'll actually take the time to listen and recognize it.
And act on it in a timely manner. You know,
Yeah.
it's something about you gotta act on it. You can't let it sit there and you can't wait 3 months and they forgot they even asked for it, you know? Because they are, I'm working on it. I'm gonna order it next week and it'll be here.
I'm in an unfortunate situation because I still speak Spanglish. I am not like Jordan. So if I ever have employees that come up to me right away, if I can't get it, I'm grabbing Colin Cornelia. I'm not waiting. Get over here now. Let's work through this now. You know, I could sit there and just kind of nod my head, and, you know, or I could go tell, hey, go talk to, go out Cornelia. Go talk to, you know, those guys. You know, no. Come here, guys. Let's get this figured out now. And then after meetings, we try to make as low key and as comfortable as possible, and a lot of pizza ranch chicken. I don't lie, they love that stuff. I don't like the pizza.
No ice cream, but chicken.
Yeah, there you go, Loren.
They offer chicken, maybe they take the chicken.
Other questions for our panelists? Anything else?
What kind of keeps you up at night as it relates to this topic of culture and the farm and continuation, but what kind of keeps you up at night?
One of the things I worry about is everybody has a TV set, right? They watch how divisive and how only people that are on the extremes get any attention in the press. So I have to point to, again, Don is just here 3 days. Last night asked me if it was safe to go by himself in Watertown. Oh, what happened last weekend? Hey, there hasn't been a shooting in Watertown.
Only samurai sword attacks.
Samurai sword attack like 6 years ago by a crazy lunatic that was on here. Okay, but our employees, when Trump got elected, I'm telling you what, they were scared for their lives.
Yeah.
How do you fix that? You want everybody to feel safe, the safe zone? Well, the safe zone, I'm glad they feel safe here because I don't know if they always feel that safe driving down the road.
I'm going to answer your question and say that I do not lay awake at night and worry about employees. I don't. Okay, I got called out 2 nights ago at 2 o'clock in the morning. The doggone ball in the trap got sucked up 8 inches into the line because it got oblong. I got out. I worry about that kind of stuff a little bit, but I do not worry about employees. And I'm here to say today it's because I have a phenomenal staff. I'm not trying to brag. It's just, it is what we are right now. We have a great group of managers and a great group of employees. And to build on what I forgot to finish the other day, I said earlier about Cal saying we had to be top paid. Here we are 18 years later, and I can tell you we're not. Go to the West, to Double S, or go to, they're paying more. But my guys aren't flocking over there, and they got turnover there. And I don't. So what is it? What's the difference? What's the difference? Culture. It's the culture.
I think I'm more worried about just the general future where our niche is going to be. You know, we're trying to do great cows, great milk. I want to get paid for that, and right now our supplier's not willing to do that. So We're trying to maybe figure out how we can make that happen, or, not that I want to change suppliers, but that's an option, or, you know, how the big picture of our business is gonna go. We already got our transition started, it's going well, we want to go that a little faster, but just where can we fit and how can we keep the consumer happy at the same time? Because we have to be able to make money at it, we have to find out what our niche is, or what we're doing a little differently, and always do it the same every day, 7 days a week, and getting, good people to help us do that. Because, just as sport partners, we can't do it ourselves anymore.
For literally talking, I think I fall asleep 20 seconds after my bedtime. And I think, to be realistic, I think I lived a pretty good life. I wanted to farm since I was 18 years old. Got a chance here. Got a chance to become a partner here. Got good health. I got a beautiful wife at home. So, I mean, there's a lot of good things. I don't see a reason to sit up and worry. And really, I think we have so many things good going in our lives that if we can worry about just the last little thing, I don't know. To me, we talk about in our partner meetings, always trying to be positive, and we start every partner meeting with the positive, saying, what went good today, what went good in the last one. So I don't know. There's things I think we can always get better at. That list is numerous. But to me, I try to make sure that every day I go to bed, there's a complete day